Hey guys, Stealth here, and welcome back to episode 3 of this campaign series. Episode 1 and 2, I was working on this boat, and that's going to continue in this particular episode. I'm going to make it a little longer, I'm going to make it a little more stable, and I'm going to add more engines. So, mirror mode on, remove these, remove the whole stern of the boat, and now I can add some more parts to it. So make it a bit longer. Like that. Now, engines. These things do cost me every time I build one. So I don't have an infinite supply of them. This goes here. Come on. Hold on, how did I have that set up? Yeah, we're gonna have to do a bit more surgery on it, because I don't really see what I'm working on. There. Okay. That's where the engine's gonna go. Like that. I can remove these blocks over here. This is the coolant in and out. Remove those. Get a fluid port in. And another one there. Add that up to the pipes. Come on. Oop. And there. Okay, this was the... which was it? Coolant in. So that means that these are light blue. And these are red. That's the hot water coming out of the engine. Next. Oh yeah, debug the exhaust issue and the battery gauge. Add a bit of width to the center to give it more stability. I cannot give it a whole lot more stability as it is, because at the moment I'm already approaching the maximum width of the dock. So I don't think that I can do too much with that at the moment. Now, add the props. I'll be painting these things later. This one goes here and there. Add the pipes for the mains. Like that. Now, add the gearboxes. That's one like that, and one like that. Gearbox. Pointing towards the engine. One like that, and one like that for reverse. Now I can have more piping. One down there, over there. I can have my generators on the sides. Generator here. 600 each? Never mind, we'll just go without the generators. That's very expensive. For some reason, generators are very, very expensive in this game. I do need a clutch or two. That should be power B, correct. And there we go. Okay, so the other things that we still need to hook up are the air intake, the exhaust outputs, and the fuel intake. Now, considering how fuel efficient this thing is at the moment, I think that we don't need to add too much fuel, but a bit more is always welcome. And until I have custom fuel tanks. Actually, I don't have a fluid meter, but I think I could make a custom fuel tank already. I just don't have pumps yet. Alright, never mind. Swing those around. Piping. Add that to the fuel tank. And connect these things up. Okay, now I will have a little bit more complex fuel systems, at least measuring wise. Because I also need to be adding the fuel amount for these two. So this fuel tank is A and this fuel tank is B. Doesn't really matter which is which. But now I need to have another add block. And no, I do not mean an ad blocker. That's a whole different thing. Okay, this one goes there. This one goes over here. And this one then loops into how much fuel I have. There, port fuel. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 times 187.5 is 750 liters of fuel per side. So this one now goes to 750. This one goes to 750, back to logic. This, the total of A and B goes there, total of A and B goes here, and this one loops it up into the actual starboard fuel display. Now these are connected, so they do share, but it is easier to look at it this way. Well, is it? Well, since all of these engines are going to be taking fuel from the same position, it might not be. Yeah, let's do it a little different. Let's add one more dial. And one more ad blocker. Ad block. Not ad blocker. There we go. The total of these two goes to that one. And this one then loops into the fuel display. So this one can have a maximum fuel, minimum of none. Come on. And a maximum of 1500. There. Okay. If you use the 3 function, you could do 3 instead of 2. Yeah, I know that. But I tend to lose count, especially if I have 8 fuel tanks like this. I know I can do it, but this for me is a little easier to oversee. But you're entirely right that you can have 3 of them instead of 2. And sometimes that is just easier. Let's see, this was the exhaust. So I can pretty much just copy this. Oh crap, mirror mode was turned off. This one goes up like that. Piping goes through here. Up there. Oh, hang on. This whole system is no longer adequate because the boat is suddenly much larger. Longer, especially. Let's see. Let's add the sides. First need to see exactly how long the boat's going to be. This red beam doesn't need to be here anymore. And now this is going to go all the way to the back. I can probably loop this one in. This is the exhaust and that's the air intake. This is an exhaust valve or an exhaust pipe. Or was it? Hello, what do you connect to? You connect to the exhaust. Gotcha. You connect to the... that's a coolant pipe. Okay, so that is exhaust. And it starts over here, I think. No, that's air intake. So, let's color those things light. This is my default color for seeing what sort of pipe I have over there. That would mean that this one... yeah, that's the exhaust. It's usually dark gray for me. And I'll be fixing this up later. I just need to figure out which is which. That's fuel, that's air, and this is exhaust. How are we going to set this up? Pipe. Pipe at an angle. Wrong angle. Like that. This is air, and it goes that way. Paint those, and we're going to go all the way over here. Then we have the other exhaust one. That one. No, that's a straight pipe. I need an angled pipe. Like that. And we're going to go all the way to the back. Now, I sort of want these things to no longer interfere with each other. So we're going to take this one down. Just remove these parts. I want both exhausts to come up on the outermost side. Like that. And like that. That's where we need to be going. So connect that over there. This one goes down a little. Come on. I can just use the standard pipes for this. Turn it around like that and over here. Okay, so that's the exhaust. And we were using that color for that. So that's an exhaust pipe, and this is an exhaust pipe. And that runs all the way there. Okay. So these two exhausts are now connected to the outermost sides of the ship. Good. Now I can add more piping. And I'm going to go with the straight pipe so we can go straight up. Sort of. Like that. Now we can have the exhaust on top of those. There you go. And now I can go back to the piping for the air intake. That's this one and that one. I want those to come up over here. So, how do I do that? I want to have an angle over here. Like that. I want to have a straight pipe. No, another T-piece over here. Then I want fluid ports so they can take the air in. That looks like shit. Again, pipe. How did I do this previous? If I just rotate this one up, this pipe angle, like that, I could then have the fluid port on here. Yeah, we can do it like this. Okay, so the piping goes through there. Pipe angle then moves it this way. A T-piece connects both the pipe and the other fluid intake port. So this is my air intake to the line down here, where I now have another couple of straight pieces, pretty much all the way up to the back of the boat, but not entirely. That's an exhaust port. This one we're going to tie pretty much towards the other pipeline here. Then down. Add an angle. And just consider that this is still a very, very basic boat. I'm just trying to beautify it. Potentially even too much. Okay, pipe straight. There we go. Okay, so we have air intakes coming from here and from there, moving all the way back here, taking air in here. Exhausts go back there. Now we're getting somewhere. Now I just need to make sure that these outer engines have fuel. I'm going to need an angled for that. One goes there. Come on. One goes over here. This is a fuel connector pipe, so I can just borrow it from that one. And since we're below decks, I can use the standard piping. There we go. Okay, that should be the whole engine setup completed. Now all I need to do is close up the deck and add all of the logic circuits, or all of the energy control surfaces. Delete that, delete that. Complete this part of the hull, and I still need some pipe angles for this one. That's one. That's two. Okay, so now I can repaint the deck. And I can also make this thing look a little better. Okay, so that should be the engines completed. Now finish up with the red surface lining. And the deck paint, of course. Usually go with a grayish finish. Don't forget the light. Yeah, good point. Thank you for mentioning that. The lights go on the back and on the side. I'm gonna do this one by one because I usually have green on the left, green for a port side, and red for the starboard side. But I do need to cut them out at the same point. So there and there, and there and there. Yeah, correct. Okay, we're doing the greens. Green goes over here. Red goes over here. And another red over here on this part. Another green on this part. Okay, so that's the lights done. Now the center axis of the ship, I believe, is right here. So I can have another connector up on this point. Let's have two of them actually, depending on which one is more suitable for the situation. Okay. Next, clutches. I now have 4 clutches instead of 2. And I also have 4 engines to throttle up. Because I also need to throttle these 2. I have more gearboxes to set. Gear 1. It's usually the lead gearbox or the first one. Make sure these are all similar. Set on a ratio of 1 to 3. So 1 RPM is 3 RPMs out. This was gear 1. I'm going to swap these things around. This is going to be gear 2. And this is going to be reverse. So gear 2 toggles that, 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 and that. Not that one, and not that one. Check the ratios. These are set to... Oh, crap. I have to do all the gearboxes again. Okay, so the third gearbox is a 1 to -1, meaning it's a reverse gearbox. The other one is going to be a, let's say, 1 to 2. I don't want to completely stall the engines, because if you just ask too much of them, then that's what's going to happen. Okay, so gear 2 should not toggle that gearbox, but should toggle that. Is it set up properly? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, okay, and now we have reverse. That's the last gearbox in the series. And these should all be reverse gearbox. 1 check, 2 check, 3 check, 4 check. Excellent. Okay, should cover that. My light switch next. Lights. 1 on port, 2 on port, 3 port, 3 starboard, like that. Next. You got 5 gearboxes in that one button. Still? I got 4 of them on this one. No, you're right. Yep. Good find. So gear 2. 1, 2, 3. I'm still seeing 5 of them. When in doubt, start over. Gear 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Reverse gear. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just rename them. Reverse. And this is gear 2. Okay. Gotta make sure these things are connected. That's usually something I'm quite eager to forget. Just happens way too many times. RPM, fuel needs to be backlit. The fuel also needs to be connected to the power. And now we have all the power problems, or the power systems. Power the engine. And the engine then powers everything else. If the engine's not running, then all the other parts don't need to receive power. Make sure the lights are all hooked up. Those are the connectors. Yeah, I can hook those up to the connectors. Hold on. This one goes over there. This one goes to the light. And then we're going to go to the connectors. Just trying to make this as easy to find out, or as easy to maintain for me as possible. There. This is still a small craft. How big do they get? About 3 times the size. Seriously, they can get really, really big. And even then, people are still asking for bigger boats. I kid you not. Let's switch those around. Great. Okay, so they need to be on that orientation or they won't work. I think it's... No, it's the other one. Really? What? Is the dial in the way? The fuel dial's in the way. Fine. I'll relocate the fuel dial. Doesn't really matter where I put that. Fuel ranging from nothing to 750. It gets power and it gets an input from this ad block. Do we still have everything powered here? Check. Check. Yeah, seems to be. 2 ladders. Yeah, I got one on the port and one on the starboard. Got one on the aft. I just need to make sure I have a toggle block here. Otherwise I won't be able to turn the connector on and off. Like that. Okay, I say we're starting to get somewhere. We might actually take it out for a mission sometime soon. Oh yeah, and this searchlight was able to go all the way to the left. Well, it doesn't really need to do that. So let's say 0 to minus, or 0 to 1. And minus 1 to 0, if I'm not mistaken. So if it's going to go on the plus, yeah, this should work. Okay, colors make ships go faster. Yeah, naturally. You gotta have good colors. Now I could, if I really wanted to, completely encapsulate this ship. But I'm not going to do that. Let's go with the NX1 mod 1. Let's get a couple seats. No, not pilot seats. Passenger seats. If any of you wants to join as a crew member or passenger or whatever, let me know, because it is set up for multiplayer. And I will happily have more people join in. Just make sure you have a fast internet connection, because the slowest internet connection is going to slow down the game for people. So if you want to join, just give me a shout in the chat. And you can just join the stream and the episode. And of course the video. Alright, I think we're pretty much done. Oh right, I need to have the batteries. The batteries need to have a dial of their own. So this is battery left, ranging from 0 to 1. And that is battery right, ranging from 0 to 1. Give those things power. And I also need to have another 2 dials to tell me what the RPM of the other engines is. Because I just added a few new ones. Oh, and that's where I find the fuel one in the way. Fair enough. So this is RPM right 2. Maximum 25. RPM right, no, left 2. 0 to 25. Connect power. And connect the data that they need to be displaying. That would be this one. And for you, that would be that one. Now, the amount of lines going through this ship, as far as logic goes, is getting... Well, it's not getting out of hand just yet, but it is definitely going up. Fast. And this is still a small craft, believe it or not. See if it floats. That'd be nice. Yeah, it does seem to float. Oh, good. We have a mission. Unfortunately, this thing currently does not really have anywhere to store boxes. And I need to bring these boxes to the power station. These 3. I know exactly what's going to happen if I don't have a particular storage area. So I think I have enough seats. We're just gonna build a storage area of sorts. AKA a box. I don't really know how else to do this, especially with the parts that I have. And that's sort of the problem. I don't really have the parts that can actually close up segments. I don't have anything that rotates. No. Well. Hold on. Hold on. I have an idea. It's going to be a little weird, but if this works, then it might just be enough. Okay. Oh, hold on. Do I have anything that can create a separate entity? Maybe? Tricky. No. That's unfortunate, because I was hoping to get connectors. So 2 connectors like that, and build a sort of bar that I can put into place. But I don't think that I can do that. Not really. Temporary baskets hanging off the side. Yeah, that could work. But it wouldn't really look that well. No, I'm afraid I'm just going to have to go with a sort of box shape. Like that. That looks like shit, but for the moment, I think that that's going to be the way that we have to transport these boxes. Just putting them in that sort of storage. I'm not even sure what you're going to call that. Shed? Storage area. Alright, box after box. Fortunately, the game really doesn't care how much you manhandle these parts. Testing equipment. You'd say that that is fairly delicate equipment. Well, you really shouldn't trust me with fairly delicate equipment in this game. Especially if it's rough seas. Because it might just get a little wet, it might fall overboard. Who knows? Get in there. Come on. Yeah, you'll fit. Eventually. Pick it up. You sort of shove... No. Come on. Down here. Thank you. We can sort of just shove this thing in here, maybe. I hope this sort of stays in position. That would be lovely. One small oversight. I haven't actually tested if the engine runs. So I might just despawn it. Quite the cargo bay. That looks atrocious. That's not a cargo bay. Let's make the hose a little shorter. Is it doing something? Yeah, it is. Okay. Where is my connector? Down here. Oh, I think it's clipping through side of the dock. That might be why it's trying to kill me every time. Damn, that was close. And connected. Excellent. Are we... Yeah, we're getting fuel. Excellent. It floats. It's a little deep in the water on the bow. Like a lot. The Atrocity Mark 1, yeah. Mr. Hayes unfortunately had to leave. He is no longer here. I sort of miscalculated the amount of fuel, I guess. It shouldn't have been 750, it should have been 1500. Ah, yes. Okay. Disable the clutch. Start the throttle up. Start the engines. Running. What? Something's not quite right. See, my standard engines are working. But I'm not too confident about the other two. Damn it. Nope, they don't work. And neither do quite a few of the backlight issues, or the backlights that I have. Look at that. Still running on 2 props. Okay. How much longer am I going to stream for? I'm having good fun with this, actually, so I think at least for another hour. And it's a sort of mixed stream with episodes. We're currently on episode 3. And once I get to that delivery zone and actually deliver the stuff, I'm going to finish this episode up. Then I'm going to continue streaming, and that will be episode number 4. So this is sort of a blended format. And in case you missed parts, you can always look those up on the channel later. I need to be on the north side of that thing. No, I should be able to just move about my boat. Let's see, does this work properly? Nope. So this should be -1, and the maximum should be 0. If I'm not mistaken. This one does work properly. Yeah, of course they're mirrored. Hence the confusion. Damn, if you have both of those things on, you just cannot see anything. This isn't working. Turn that off, turn that off. There we go. Your engine intake is right. Yeah, I know. Fortunately, the exhaust is a little higher than the engine intake. And I have had similar setups on other ships, and they always work fine. I know that from an engineering standpoint, it is really... it's really not a good idea. But it does seem to work. It does seem to work. Okay, how much fuel are we burning? I traveled almost 2 kilometers. We started out with 1500. I'd say it's taken about 20 points of fuel per click. Something like that. I have both of my gears enabled. Engine RPM is 274. I'm not really sure what's going on with my right engines. Or my extra added engines. Yeah, I see. It's outside the cargo area right now. Oh, damn, there's rocks out here again. Some really bad experiences with those rocks previous. If you crash into those, and you have vehicle damage enabled, then your vehicle will actually take severe damage. And especially with a fragile boat like this, it will sink. Fast at that. I'm very happy I'm not having to do this mission with rough seas too. That would make this mission a lot harder. I think that was on the first stream I did for Stormworks, where I was playing the game and we had some really bad weather and boxes were flying off of the boat constantly. That was really annoying. Okay, this seems to be... yeah, it's the edge of the island. That's the power station. Should have put winches behind the seats. I would if I had winches, but I do not have winches unlocked yet. So yeah, if I had them, absolutely. And if I had magholes, I would do that. But standard connectors don't actually connect to boxes. Small connectors only connect to other connectors. And as such, I simply cannot do anything to secure these boxes. Or rather, I can't think of anything to secure the boxes. Okay, slow it down. Can get a little closer into the dock, but not a whole lot more. And I really hope that my reverse gearbox actually works. If it does not, then this ship is going to be stuck here. Here is your testing equipment. Catch. Okay, that one made it ashore. Delicate equipment for a nuclear power station coming right up. And the last one, off you go. Yeah, if you're going with a campaign or career game, just start over with new vehicles and design them with the parts that you have. Otherwise, you're going to be very frustrated and find that your ships simply don't work, don't spawn, don't have the parts required yet. That's why I haven't actually brought in any of my previous creations, and I just go with new ships every time I build one, or I start a new career. This is an awesome game to stream. Yeah, I really like it. It's relaxing. It's not paying constant attention to stuff. You can engineer stuff. You can just have some chat going there. I really like it. And as opposed to playing Wargame, which I sometimes stream, I don't have to worry about stream snipers. Okay, one more box. Yeah, it is indeed cool that you have to be very careful with your resources early on, and eventually you can get bigger ships. You can have ships which have smaller ships attached to them as a sort of support ship. More electric parts? Damn, okay. It also, in campaign, can make it quite painful if you lose one of your boats. If that happens, then you're going to have to improvise a way to get on your boat, to somehow get it back. And sometimes that means just trying to hook it up to a connector or trying to manhandle the boat back into the dock. It can be all sorts of parts. Anyway, this was episode 3. Thank you for watching it. If you didn't watch it live, then I hope you enjoyed the recording. Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments. If you have any suggestions for future ships, then I'm always all ears to see what you can come up with. Keep in mind that I am still very early on in the career and I do not have all the parts. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank my patrons for their support for the channel. And I'll see you soon for more episodes of Stormworks.